And I think it's happening. Oh, and then
I know what to do. She can do it.
yay!
This is not my first rodeo.
Hi there.
How do you do, man? See you guys. Good to see you. How's it? Yeah. Good. Thank you. Welcome. Unlimited supply of bags.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah, that's fine.
Pillows.
No, I'm totally good.
Okay, great. Okay, now let's turn it.
Turn which way?
Oh, where I can't see it.
He's on about 20-second delay.
Right, get really distracted, and that's like what?
Can you hear me?
No one can hear you.
Deborah, can you hear me? Okay, good. Well, because I'm just laughing and popping on right now. Oh, and can you also do me another favor? Yay, favor. Can you press mute on the volume so I don't hear myself either? Oh, thank you. Okay, awesome. Oh, you want to wear them? Are they too low? Oh no, probably don't wear them.
You don't know where you live.
Oh wait, I could lower them for you. I could lower the volume.
Sylvia sadly discuss us.
The live sound in here and I'll be the next one.
I'll do that.
Then you can lower this. Then you can raise it that way. Testing, better.
Everything's working like that.
Yay! All this shit to say you're nothing. Oh, the joy. Welcome to Satsang. Welcome to the Satsang that's always here. Welcome to this moment that's always here. So welcome that the word welcome makes no damn sense. Mm. Mhm. How many of you beloveds have ever enjoyed a dream of doing or a nightmare of doing? Do 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 do. Doing. So much fun. Such an adventure. Nothing ever really gets done, but how fun to do. Or maybe somehow in your life, you find yourself attracted to undoing, assuming or believing it's something separate than doing. Has anyone ever undone before? Undoing, doing, undoing. How fucking adorable. Just precious. The melting back jack. And how sweet to consider for a moment from a space of curiosity or queeriosity. Be in the sweet space for little doing tickles and undoing tickles. Doing tickles and undoing tickles, and feel into it for a moment in the assumption that you're someone going somewhere. Feel into it for a moment. What degree of attention is put on undoing or doing? Just feel into it. And boy, does the mind love self-diagnosing. It's worse than Dr. MD on the internet. And just for a moment, feeling into any energy, if there's one atom reaching for something, or one atom attempting to push something away. All the different workshops we do, all the different wondrous adventure after adventure, it's like 1,000 Dollywoods. Adventure after adventure. And innocently, beautifully, perfectly, this rest is overlooked, simply not noticed. This rest of being, this rest of you as you are. This bottomless rest, this silent rest, this still rest. What do we imagine doing is going to give us? What do we imagine doing something, getting something done, completing something is going to reveal? And also, for the sake of language and the joy of opposites, what do we imagine undoing is going to give us? Maybe if we're on in some kind of spiritual subculture, undoing is like the thing. And it's like, if I finally undo this conditioning, then what? If I finally undo this program or this ego identity, or if I finally undo this trauma that has been passed down generation, generation, generation. If the world finally does this, if the world finally undoes that, if my beloved or my sweetheart or my pain in the ass finally does this or undoes that, does this or undoes that, and innocently, we just don't notice a fullness that has never seen a doing or an undoing. I could. Oh yeah, we could also turn that off. Clay, would you do the honors? And just, yes, just click it off. It'll turn off in a moment. Thank you. And I'll speak louder. Deb's got the right idea. How wondrous these strategies of reification, these strategies of protection, strategies of defense, strategies attempting to justify something that is never here, has never been here, a separate someone, a separate time, a separate place, a separate Twinkie bar, a separate anything. A separate anything. And so, how sweet, again, I love it. This option to be together with a complete welcome of all doing and a complete welcome of all undoing and anything in between. And also noticing every atom in its place. Also noticing the immeasurably precious perfection of this moment as it is. How sweet. An undoing air conditioning. Yay. And then what's so sweet with this invitation is that whatever appears, we can discover the possibility of this unwavering suchness being exalted by whatever appears to appear. You know, we imagine in the space of doing and undoing, someone going somewhere, someone releasing something, opening something, healing something. We imagine that there's obstacles in our way. We imagine that there's something holding us back or something to jump over. And again, what a dope ass adventure. in your virtual reality hologram video game that's forever disappearing every second, never existing at all. How delightful. God, I mean, this that is. You think humans are kinky? Lord have mercy. Infinity's kinky as fuck. Yes. Yeah. What a kink. Separation. The dream of separation. Talk about nipple clamps. Lord have mercy. Goodness but gracious. So innocent and is never once blemished. I'm sorry to break it to you. But but never once bruised. Never once pinched. This wholeness that's also a part of who you are. So free, so present, so available, so delighted to love itself like this too, this too, this too, this too, this too, this too. The doing and the undoing never need to stop. So free. So free to forever do 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 do. So free to ever. It's your permanent flam couple. Whatever the backwards version of that is. Shout out to Missy Elliott. So free. That's not something anyone needs to stop or control. That's the beautiful thing about freedom. If you're imagining that there's other things here, it's so sweet. It's so sweet to feel into that imagination of allowing everything to be free and discovering, oh wow, everything has always been free. Every thought has always been free. Even the thought of I don't like thoughts has always been free. Every feeling has always been free. Self-releasing, self-releasing, self-releasing. Exalting, exalting, exalting. Choir of angels, choir of angels. Celebrating this, that you are. Just right. Mind just right. Body just right. Conditioning just right. Programming just right. The thought of an eye just right. The sense of an eye just right. The sense of no eye just right. The sense of concepts just right. Non-conceptual state just right. Sense of samadhi moment, oh how sweet. Just right. Shakti moment, good for you. Just right. Bullshit, just right. Down by the bank on the hanky pank, the bullshit jumps from bank to bank. I said E-I-O-U, your mama stank, and so do you. Y'all never played that game? Welcome to Crackhead's That Song. Before I continue with this glorious buffoonery, would anyone like to share something or explore something? There's a microphone right there. And hello to everyone listening. If you're listening and you have my phone number, feel free to text me something you'd like to explore, or put it in the chat box over there. What's top of the news for you? What feels really real to you?
I got something.
Can you pass her the mic, please?
I don't even know what. It's just something in my heart. It's calling me forward.
Hey.
Something in my heart is
It's calling.
asking to speak.
Hey.
I don't know. Something. Oh, I was expecting amplification. Wah, 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 wah. The thing that's just like wanting to come is like the word responsibility.
Oh, I love that word. So
yeah.
juicy.
And this like the sense of like, for me in my experience unfolding,
Right.
this sense of like ever so often this wave of being asked and demanded to rise beyond this sense of it's like sacred responsibility, and how you know how I know things without being taught verbally or conceptually, but this kind of like and then the tangles that happen when you're figuring out, when you're sort of like there's like this sense of
What
new,
tangles?
like like you know what it is? It's like when you're relating with someone and there's this heart is just like exploding.
Yes.
And then things get like missed, and there's like ache, and you feel like this is just like the story, I know, but like I like someone sees something that I can't see in myself about myself. And I guess like the story would be like, and I need to be better than I am.
Yeah. Has anyone ever had that story before? I need to be better than I am. Anyone have that as a bumper sticker on your Prius? I need to be better than I am.
Because it only takes you so far to say, well, I have good intentions, but then suddenly to see this, like, that you've actually unfolded this whole bullshit thing. You know what I mean?
And for a moment, let's be here. So I loved how you said experience unfolding.
Yeah.
And let's be with no experience unfolding for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my question of use and valuable and rich?
Absolutely. Every question is of use and valuable and rich, just to get clear, just so we all know. And it's just sweet in the moment, just noticing, the sense of an experience unfolding, and to let that just fall back for a moment. In the sense of experience unfolding, boy, can we start elaborating on all kinds of things. It's like then someone else has an experience unfolding, and then there's
co-elaborating.
Right. Then there's this thought about co-elaborating and co-unfolding, and then there's this concept of someone understanding someone else as a possibility. And Lord have mercy.
And suddenly you're in like a painting.
Well, and then what's so beautiful is, right, and then we don't notice the initial, as you first started with when you brought up someone else, the whole heart completely open
Yeah.
and gushed open.
Yeah.
And then what is it? I don't know who it was that said it. Maybe Swami Biyandananda. Everyone's enlightened till they say something. It's so funny. And then it's so interesting, you know. I love, in my experience, no one ever has to understand anything I say, anything I share.
Or what if, and even if you don't have to understand.
Right. I never have to understand anything anyone ever has to say. It's so what's so beautiful, you know, in how much energy goes into attempting to understand someone. I mean, and of course, that's so fun at trying to understand. Again, adventure time, adventure, adventure, adventure. And then you notice how exhausting that can be, or uh, it's kind of like we get really mature in discovering how effective maybe we are, or our capacity to actually respond in the moment, response ability. When we're here, it's like we can't help but to respond. We can't help but to be an available intelligence to meet this moment. This moment knows how to respond to itself. Notice that everything about this moment is completely here for itself. In this moment, the only moment that we're in.
The moments around you seem to just unfold and unfurl, like where the space just feels infinite.
Oh, I love the way you see yourself.
Yeah.
I love the way you experience yourself.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's such a joy. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay to follow mind and to follow our thoughts. And how exciting. What an adventure. And there's more options available, you know? And then it's just up to us to be honest and notice, oh wow, you know, do I want to experience the moment through the filter of a someone unfolding and someone else unfolding and the tangles of that? And for fun, as from a space of curiosity, let's explore just being here as no one unfolding anywhere, nothing to unfold, no one to understand, nothing to understand. It's so easy. It's so sweet. And then you cannot help but to it's like you're available for life to love itself as you, through you, just as it does every single moment, whether we notice it or not. This moment loves itself, here as itself, is itself.
Choice, recognizing an option to do this.
For fun, you know, if the option space, the choice space feels like a fun training wheel, awesome. And it allows us to get familiar with no choice, no one, no time, no identity, no cause and effect ever to be found, no thing, no ground to stand on, no ledge to stand on, no planet, no frequency, no dimension, no realms, no them, no you, no thing, no thing.
I'm there, baby.
Yes, you are. Yes, you so are. Yes, you so are. It's sweet. It's living as this, you know, this intelligence that's not limited to pockets of information. This intelligence that's not limited to the very wondrous and troublemaking closed system of intelligence that wants to make decisions based on pros and cons and very limited interpretation of who we think we are, what we think they are. I remember hearing Gangaji once say, the past, never what you think it is. The future, never what you think is going to be. And the present moment, not at all what you imagine it is. Yeah, the past never was what you think it was. Future never going to be what you think it's going to be. And the present moment, not at all what you think it is. And then she went on to say that could either make you totally fucking crazy. I don't know if she used the word fucking. That can make you totally crazy or be invitation to the liberation that you are, the freedom that you are, the free fall that you are, the free fly that you are, the fish fry that you are. I love a good fish fry. Some tartar sauce. Yeah. Oh, it's so kind to be with beloveds, not ever having to understand them. It's so kind. It's so beautiful. And then it's so sweet. We imagine we understand. We only understand what we imagine we understand. Anyone ever understands what they imagine they understand? That's so wonderful. And that doesn't have to be the emphasis of our love. Doesn't have to be the conditions for love or the doesn't have to depend on any of that locking into place. Love is closer than all Tetrises. It's like, oh, I don't know, you don't have to know nothing about me. I don't got to know nothing about you to be here as the love that I am, as the kindness that I am, as an available hand, available intellect, available heart, available haha that's here. Yeah. Thank you, love. Anyone else want to share something?
I'm going to ask a question. With my headset.
Headset Jenkins.
Headset Jenkins. Oh, I love the sound. Okay, so if the world you live in,
Hi world.
Hi world, is so funny.
What world?
And it's so nothing. And then back at the ranch.
Hi ranch.
There's this very demanding reality that like has so many. I don't even know what to call
and where
them.
is this demanding reality?
It's around the corner. It's by my house. Anyway, the point of my question is the gap between sitting here and then what's going on at my house,
Yeah.
like this giant chasm that you don't seem to encounter. So there's some kind of like loop that you broke or somewhere that you figured out how to not have to deal with because there's a lot of stuff going on in this world that is not funny. I know you don't believe me, but there's something about the other side that I have, what's the right word? That I'm either responsible to or
right.
kind of captivated by.
Crazy, in other words.
The crazy part. What was that? I missed that. Say that again.
I said one of you is crazy, in other words.
That's it. Yeah. So there's one part of me that is, yeah. So my question is, you seem to be living between two worlds without having to dip into the dimension that's at my house. I'm curious how you got out of that. Like what was the mechanism or the technology or how did you get to like where's the super glue and then how'd you keep the door shut? That's the other question. So once you got out, how did you not get the door to open again?
How'd you not get a?
Once he got to the other world, and then he now doesn't have to deal with that. He sealed that door. Or did he? Well, it appears that way.
So
I love appearances. I love the question. It's so fun. It is so. I invite everyone right now to, for a moment, feel into where the world exists and where does the apparent evidence of the world exist, and where do things apparently exist? So it's so interesting, we don't notice that we've been so well educated and trained and lulled into experiencing the moment through this lens of things. It's kind of like we get indoctrinated into this uh, uh, dream. Yeah, this dream of apparent things, of apparent separation. It takes years before a child can look at themselves and think that they're a separate someone. There's a whole training being, and it never actually works. So it's not like the training worked. It's not like the indoctrination actually worked. It's not like the conditioning worked. It just seems to work because this innocent, bright freedom that you are, that all is, still here, never covered by a layer of dust called perception, never covered by a layer of phenomena or assumptions or thought or ego, still totally bright and present. But to the degree that we imagine ourselves to be something separate, is to the degree that we imagine other things to be separate. And when we imagine other things to be separate, we innocently create all these worlds. And that word create isn't accurate because no world is ever created. No actual world ever gets created. There's just an apparent superimposed holographic grid, we can say, on a wholeness that is forever whole and not interrupted by anyone's thought of the world, anyone's idea of the world. So in my experience, I just noticed that the world that I thought was the world only ever happened in my mind. And the evidence of the world that I thought was the evidence only ever happened in thought. It was thought interacting with thought, assumption with assumption, wondrous. And I also noticed that that never needs to go away, that there's something else here, we can say, just with the limitation of language, there's something else here that's free of the apparent shimmer of the surface. Well, notice in your own direct experience, are you aware right now? Okay, what's aware of questionable being said so confidently? Awesome. And it's true. No one knows what awareness is. Hallelujah. And that's what's so sweet about diving in. It's okay to take short moments of, or I love it, my friend Candace O'Denver, who's also known as ZG Rinpoche right now, says short moments of awareness repeated many times reveals itself to be continuous. Take a short moment, just a little tiny, itsy bitsy short moment of awareness or infinite allowing, or just as the moment is, repeated many times, reveals itself to be continuous. So this short moment of awareness reveals itself to always be the case. We become accustomed to what's obvious. We become accustomed to, oh wow, mind is a fascinating phenomena that self-releases, undoes, if if mind is ever seen again at all. Maybe there was this rumor that there was something called a mind or something called an ego. When you actually look, maybe it's not even there. And so, yeah, it feels so real. And then our senses tell us that it's so real. But it's so interesting. We don't notice that we only ever experience anything from the inside, we could say. When you hear something, you're not hearing it from the outside in, it's an inside experience. When you feel something, you're touching the chair and you really get quiet with it and slow it down. It's a internal, it's a inside thing, all sensory perception, inside massaging the inside. You know, this world that we think is outside of us, what if it's only ever happening in the safety of your awareness? What if it's held in grandmother lap of infinite being and presence that is only this moment? Held. Oh, good. Confusion is a high state of consciousness. And if anyone else would like to speak to their experience of noticing that there's no world here as we imagine it to be, you know, it's like there's a, anyone ever heard of the concept of oneness or wholeness, you know, or no separation? It's kind of like feeling into what would the implications of no separation actually be. You know, it's like we like to say these things, no separation, but to feel into for fun, a short moment of resting in the implications of what no separation actually is or feels like. Like, what are you not separate from? No separation from what? From God, maybe? From the universe? From love? From all that's good? From wholeness? From what do you imagine you're not separate from when you move into spaces of, oh, we're all one, or this is whole? Like one with what? One as what? And does that not include every atom of an apparent world, every molecule of an apparent world, every cell of an apparent someone, every word of an apparent story or book? It's okay to take moments of resting in the fullness that is. It doesn't mean you're turning your back from a world that needs us. It doesn't mean that you're turning your back from a world that could use some loving human beings right now. It actually allows for there to actually be loving human beings right now. It actually allows for human beings to be available with solutions that aren't bound to something called the past. It actually allows for human beings available to respond freshly, spontaneously to what's in the moment without trying to solve a problem with the same thing that created the problem. Perfectly so. The mind is so perfectly stubborn. It's so good that way. It's kind of like having a stubborn cat and just pet it. Just, oh, you're so, and petting it by just, you're so welcome to be here, stubborn mind. You don't got to go anywhere. You're exactly where you want, where you're wanted. You're exactly where you're loved. Yeah, this moment has no problem with any kind of mind. Any kind of mind. Any flavor of mind. That flavor too. And what a gift in this nothingness. You're also completely available as uncontrived compassion, uncontrived altruism that isn't limited to ideas of altruism or manipulated altruism. It's like you're here as benefit, not because you have to be or because you. For me, what I love about all this no thingness is available human being, ordinary, ordinary. There's no one here, and that was the day I was actually human. There's no one here, and there's no planet here, and that was the day I actually landed on the planet. Until then, we don't live in this world. We live in a make believe story of what we think the world is. And we're not here as stewards of love and presence. We're here stressed, terrified, horrified, and blaming and angry. Nothing wrong with any of that. But how sweet that we have options. How sweet. And then also, oh my goodness, this whole planet. I remember it was so good, recognizing the option of totally allowing every part of who I imagine myself to just be here. And then anything I projected onto the world, I projected onto humanity, I got to relax and just be like, oh my goodness, if there is a world, you're completely welcome here, just as you are. Your oceans, your apparent collective consciousness, whatever you imagine it to be. If you imagine the world to be a teenager and the cosmic scale of things compared to, the mature hula hoop dancing Saturn or whatever the story is, like, oh my goodness, everything gets to be loved. It's so precious. How precious. Yeah. How precious.
Are things real?
Ask a high-powered microscope or put it in a hadron collider. It appears to be very real. And what I love about microscopes is that we think it's just this technology, but it's actually consciousness willing to take a closer look. Let me take a closer look at something I thought was a particular way.
Aren't the thoughts then creating that kind of new dream?
Well, that's so much fun. Yes. Yes, totally. And it's gone now. Self-releasing. So, in the dream of things appear to be created, but nothing ever really is created. Just like, we imagine. It's so fun. It's so fun. We imagine. Boy, do we imagine. We imagine that that there's been a growth or a tumor. No, a skin tag. We imagine that there was a birth, we could say.
Birth even part of the matrix.
Birth. We imagine there was a birth, and because we imagine birth and we think birth is real, then we imagine that there's something opposite of birth that's real called death. And if you've taken a moment to consider that maybe you're not alive as you imagine yourself to be. Sorry? It's so much fun having sex when you're not alive. Have you tried that kind of sex? And
Not yet.
And so what I mean is, from the space of no separation, from the space of seamless inseparability, this moment full on orgasm with itself, this moment full on in love with itself. It's like the chair is your lover, the socks are your lover, and the atmosphere, this breath is your lover. It's like the poetry of perception, the poetry of phenomena. You are living Hafez's every poem, Rumi's every poem, Kabir's every poem, Lala's every poem. Really interesting, all the innocent assumptions we have about things and about ourselves, that remain unquestioned. Hi, beloved. We're just talking about you. Just talking about you and your infinite self. Oh, I love this moment. Dakshina, Revs, Dakshina, you two remind me so much of each other. It's so sweet. And then it's so yeah, are things real? And is the the beloved exploring if things are real. And it's so very wondrous.
We started out with the doing,
Yeah.
and the doing in a body is bumping into things that we perceive as real. And then we create an emotional, mental configuration around what we would say is living.
Right. Until it's not. And I don't mean in terms of dying, but it's kind of like dying. It's like how they say the secret to life is to die before the body dies. In the perception of things and, oh my God, identity, cause and effect, time, this activity, that activity, wondrous display. And that's not the only option of living. And life still happens even if you're not hyper focused on being something separate. I don't even understand all the traveling that happens, all the emails that get answered, all the sessions that happen, all the times, all the calendars, all the doses, all the measuring, all the explorations, all the integration sessions, and there's no one here. No one here. Yeah, when I look, if I were to look, it's been a while, but let me look. Yeah, I know that I'm not a thought. I know that I'm not a collection of thoughts. I know that I'm not a tumbleweed of interpretations or experiences. So if I were to ask you, who are you? But feel into it from the space of not touching one speck of the past. Who are you? No past. Don't touch 1 ounce of something imagined called a past. And what's here? Are you a body? That's past. Are you a thought? That's past. Are you a shimmering mist of consciousness? Also past. The thought of body is past, but the concept that there's body is past. So no past, including concept of anything, that's past. You're not here as, oh, there's a body. That was learned. Learned, that was taught. That was a rumor that spread, that remained unquestioned. I don't know who started that rumor. Bitch. I had to go and start that rumor. And then what's so interesting, my experience of body is that it's all body, if there is a body, the whole cosmos and beyond and beyond and beyond is my blessed body, if there ever was a body. And you're so available for such care for something called a body. So this isn't invitation to a nihilistic point of view. This is about wholeness and reality and lived, embodied. Yeah, and it's so fascinating. No body, and then body is more precious than ever. Mm.
Go to the hospital. My arm, my arm, my arm. Doctor's like, arm? I'm gonna tend to this appearance of an arm very, very carefully. Very, you know what I mean?
Well, what's so beautiful about this invitation is it's not about this, what's the word? It's not about belittling or detaching or it's not about making the thoughts bad or separation bad or bodies bad or, you know, laser surgery and the most precise, you know, it's all so good. It doesn't make any of that bad. This is the invitation of noticing what's here that maybe you haven't noticed, because everything apparently appears to invite us, lull us back into sleep of separation. Yeah. I love that there's precision and specifics. And I love that there's lashes. Have you seen my closet? I love that there's shoes. I love that there's heels. I love that there's oceans. I love that there's people creating things to help the oceans. And I love that I get to be a part of whatever I learn and do the best. It's like all of that is so welcome. It's so here. It's such poetry. And I also love that I know who I am and that I know who you are because I know who I am. Yeah, you have never been squeezed into a body. You have never been squeezed into a constellation. You have never been squeezed into time. You have never been squeezed into identity. You have never been squeezed into genetics. You have never been squeezed into a future or a past. You are also infinite freedom itself. You are also spirit itself, wholeness itself. Whatever your favorite word is, itself. Anyone else want to speak to this or share something? Was that helpful at all?
Yes, I think it gets, I mean, the feeling that, okay,
Can you pass the mic for beloveds at home?
thanks. The knowing that I have is that the past is imaginary and the future is
Right.
imaginary. And I
Right.
can really feel always the moments. And when I feel the moments, this moment, then this moment, and how it's just this stream of past that's happening in every moment, but I am in a moment, then there's nothing in that moment but my awareness of
Right.
of everything. I get that.
Right. And feel into that awareness of everything. Every time that you've looked in the mirror since you were a kid, all the different changes that happen with body
Right.
and the awareness, has the awareness changed?
No.
Right.
If I was 90, I would have the same awareness. I had the same
Right.
awareness when I was
Now
5.
feel into you in another lifetime. Same awareness?
That I don't know about.
A fun exploration.
Yeah.
Feeling yourself, feel into yourself another dimension. Same awareness.
That I can feel.
So a change in awareness of awareness, and and what's aware of that change of awareness, that awareness that's aware of the change of awareness of awareness. Yeah, awareness. Well, it's so interesting because sometimes we imagine our mind to be awareness, and we don't notice that there is something closer.
I can think of times looking in the mirror as kind of the memory, but as a teenager where I had no
Right. Right.
I don't actually know now when I think back then. It all seems like such an immense enmeshment of the dream.
Right. So notice that awareness of awareness innocently gets turned into an object too, another thing to be aware of. And it's no different than if you're aware of your pinky toe or aware of a blister or aware of a tummy ache.
So I would say, I would disagree. And I would say the word awareness, when I feel the awareness in that moment, the
Mhm.
awareness is of absolute infinity and no boundaries, and everything is funny.
Right.
That's what it
And does
is.
it come and go?
Yeah, if I'm having a really stressful time or even if I'm having a great time, but if I slow myself down and I go, notice the moment,
Yeah.
which I could use the word awareness, then all of a sudden everyone blends into this. It's like I'm watching one huge TV show.
Welcome to Satsang.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
everything is super funny. And then I snap back into I'm having a fight with somebody.
Right. So mind comes back in, and we innocently believe the snake to be a rope, as Byron Katie says. We innocently, that's right, the rope to be a snake. We imagine, or the snake to be a rope. We imagine something to be real, and then we overlook this totally at ease, playful presence of being that is our nature. And when we have, and then what gets really tricky is that we identify with that sense of ease and body. And so there's a feeling of infinite awareness. There's a feeling of when I'm there and everything's funny. And so if everything's not funny, then I must not be this awareness. Or if everything's funny, then we give ego the job to get us back to awareness. And it's just never its job. And then we just innocently overlook this that's always here. That's
It's a relief.
regardless.
I mean, it's a moment of relief that nothing, it's
Right.
that meaningful and everything is that meaningful in the
Right.
same minute.
Right. And then how exciting that we get to discover that that doesn't have to just be moments, but as we get familiar with who we are and what's here, and as simultaneously get familiar with the nature of mind and its wondrous tendencies to describe, categorize, compare, measure, indulge, avoid, replace, then we notice, oh, wow, I've always lived as this playful presence. I was just emphasizing a dream. I was just emphasizing a dream.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's so fun. Have you tried turning off awareness? And if you can try to turn it off right now. Effortless, effortless. Here. Anyone else want to share something? We have a few moments left. Oh, can you pass the mic?
Hello. I wonder if
Hello.
the technology of existence,
I love that technology of existence.
whatever that is, as infinite as it is, benefits from life sources, human beings,
Ah,
engaging so intimately with life and believing so intimately in whatever's going on. I wonder if that's of benefit. I know it's of benefit, but I would like to know, if I could ask, if I could see how that's beneficial, almost like little fishes that swim next to big whales and eat crusts on their bodies and just like, I would like to know on the the full maximum view of the game, the benefit that our own energies with our minds and our hearts moving towards things and grasping, letting it go and loving and suffering and engaging and pulling back and all that. It feels like energy that is a joy for the entire structureless structure to pulse in.
Thank you.
Different touches.
Yeah. Feels like it's a joy. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Such a joy.
Yeah.
Joy, joy, joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how lovely. It's like right here. Everything you just said so beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
This, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a joy.
Such a joy.
Yeah.
Like an orchestra, no?
Such an orchestra.
Massive orchestra.
Massive. A terrible joy. An agonizing bliss.
Mm-hmm.
A blistering awe.
Thunderous silence.
I mean, how this all-inclusive delight. Everything gets to be, and everything gets to not be. Yeah.
Do you ever close with one of your
I do.
Can I request since my daughter's here? That one that we like, Jones?
Cleopatra Jones.
No.
Infinity Smith. Would love to do some Infinity Smith. Do some Infinity
Have you ever heard this?
And yeah, Reps, thank you. Such a joy. All of this. All of this. Yeah. It's the invitation of the joy option. The joy option. The joy option. Hey, 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 hey. Sacred geometry, watch it fly out of me. Sonic astronomy, this be vocal alchemy. Toning my way into Ganesha's balcony. The view from in here is a Celestine prophecy. Angels with microphones, goddesses sing. Cosmic disclosures about identity. Cosmic disclosures about identity. The only life here is the one listening. The only life here is the one listening. Listen so sweetly that you disappear. Listen so clearly until you're not here. Not here as a thought, not here as a body, not here as the one trying to get to the party. Because right where you are without changing a thing is the one celebration, the only big bang. You've never not been pure presence of love. You cannot experience there's not enough. For atoms keep flying right out of God's pocket. It's your face on the ID that God has in her wallet. No need to say it, but I'm going to call it. You've always been you and you've always been ballin'. Your name is Abundance Jackson. Your name is Prosperity Jenkins. Your name is Infinity Smith, exalting the reality of indescribable bliss. Your name is God Loves Me Gonzalez. Your name is Ruiz. Your name is the sacred, immeasurable beauty that brings everything here to its knees. Confusion. Confusion's not just for the healthy. Confusion's not just for the poor. Confusion, but the unquestioned notion that this moment should be something more, more this, more that, more Cadillacs, pure imagination, when maybe not tending to the here and now contributes to global devastation. Maybe not taking the time to invest in the silence found in meditation gives rise to the hurt and the pain we inflict on ourselves. We inflict on ourselves. We inflict on ourselves only ever ourselves. Misidentification. Skin lines, timelines, them there lines drawn on a map. The only word I can find to rhyme with the assumptions of lines is crap. The you, the me that gives rise to destinies has only ever existed as flashing possibilities, a thought in the mind of God, a God in the mind of thought. It's a good thing this here golden perfection has never ever once been caught up in mental elaboration. Thank heavens for evaporation, for the ingredients of separation can't survive the shine of this here confirmation. Your name is Abundance Jackson. Your name is Prosperity Jenkins. Your name is Infinity Smith, exalting the reality of indescribable bliss. Your name is God Loves Me Gonzalez. Your name is God Is Me Ruiz. Your name is the sacred, immeasurable beauty that brings everything here to its knees. Your name is the sacred, immeasurable beauty that brings every thought here to its knees. Your name, the sacred, immeasurable beauty that brings everything here to its knees. I guess I could have just done that and be done with it. That's all it was trying to say. Thank you all so much. I so appreciate. I just so love you. Appreciate your life. Who knows what life you got? I mean, it's so wondrous. How wondrous. Such awe, such possibility. All celebrating the wholeness that has not once been interrupted. The all is wellness that has not once been challenged or stretched or diluted. In the Human Beautiful poem, the part that says, I'll just do the whole poem. Human peeing, yes. Human being, yes. Human becoming, that too. But mostly human beautiful. Human dreaming, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Human awakening, that too. But mostly human beautiful. Mostly human beautiful. You are in the arms of those who loved you the most, and the heart of the wind you longed for. There's no horizon in your eyes. You are the endless sky, ever present, always here. Countless lives were touched by your wounds. Countless lives were touched by your light, and countless more by your wounds. You gave permission for the ugliness we share to exist as beautiful too, to exist as valuable too. To exist as something worthy of a deep and honest welcome. Vulnerability is superpower. No one has ever said the word fuck like you did. Fucking amazing, fucking awesome, fucking beautiful. Oh my fucking God. I'm so grateful I got to meet you in the silence. That's the kind of meeting space no one can ever truly leave. Blessed to know that our eyes met in the vast immediacy of a great mystery, somehow aware of itself now. Those moments are this moment. Those moments are this moment. And still the heart breaks at the thought that maybe for a moment you believed something somewhere being unacceptable and not enough. Ooh, we have all been there. We have all been everywhere. And it just might happen that we frequent those distorted corridors again and again, hold hands a bit tighter, hold time a bit lighter, and breathe easy that even in the unimaginable hurt of an empty seat and an empty bed and an empty feeling in your chest, fullness dances to the tune of joy befriending death. And all is well as we grieve. All is well with tears. All is well with unanswered questions. All is well, and never picking up the pieces. All is well. Human being, yes. Human becoming, that too. But mostly human beautiful. Human dreaming, human awakening, that too. Mostly human beautiful. Human breathing, yes. Human dying, that too. Nothing safer than dying. And mostly human beautiful. Mostly human beautiful. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and blessings. Go forward and prosper. Do a lot of humping. That's always fun. May all beings hump. Yes.
I love that. Thank you for making my dream come true.
Oh, such a joy. Ah,
Asking you shall receive.
I am so happy to share that. It's so wonderful to meet your daughter in the most interesting of spaces. You're so welcome. So